What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday. We're almost to the weekend here. Hope you've had a great week. It's also October. I guess it's spooky season by some. Is that still considered a thing, spooky season?
Spooky season? I mean, maybe.
I don't know. Someone said that to me on October 1st. Like, happy spooky season.
Sure. I know people that have had their candy corn sitting out on the counter and they refuse to eat it until October 1st, and then they just house it.
Okay, that we need to talk about here. But we also want to talk to you about what we have on the slate for today. Football's back in Baltimore this week. The Ravens play the Texans.
It's back, baby.
It's back. Say that the Ravens need a win is an understatement. We'll talk to our friend just in a moment, Nick Moore, about all of that with the Ravens. There are some headlines around the NFL, mainly if it's not in Baltimore. Up in Cleveland, they got a new quarterback. Joe Flacco is no longer the guy, but there's, of course, some more conversations that are not about specifically what's going to be happening on the field for the Cleveland Browns.
I got opinions about that.
And then playoff baseball has been absolutely electric, but our guy, Big Ben McDonald, was under some fire. So we're going to talk about that, talk about the playoff game so far, and a whole lot more here on this Thursday. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. We do this live every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. And also we'll be live tomorrow from Federal Hill, so stay tuned so you guys can hear all about that. Zach's here. Brad's obviously here. You good, Zach?
So, yeah, we don't have anything to use for witchcraft in this
studio. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll ask Nick if he's a superstitious guy. You know,
maybe
if he believes
a little better the past few days,
and maybe that's why I was kind of mentioning spooky season.
Hey.
You know?
Well, I need to talk about Nick. Nick and I talked about this on Discord briefly, but speaking of spooky season, somebody I thought that was actually dead because the Angels PR or social media team has no idea what they're doing, and we need to talk about that too.
Oh, we will talk about it in the baseball side. But in the meantime, why don't we bring on your friend, not my friend, and long snapper for the Baltimore Ravens, Mr. Nick Moore. Nick.
Gentlemen.
Hello, Nick. How are you today?
Good to see your lovely faces this afternoon.
Are they spooky faces? Rips might be a little spooky.
Rips is pretty spooky normally, so it's no surprise.
Hey, buddy. Okay, first off, a couple things. One, do you believe in any superstitions or voodoos, hexes? Are you into that?
No, I am not.
Okay, because apparently someone cast a spell on the Baltimore Ravens. That's actually like a thing. Apparently had a breakup with a guy, and then she paid someone on Etsy or something like that.
Pretty much, apparently, before the season, this whole thing happened, and this person on the internet, on Twitter, tweeted out, "Do I tell my boyfriend that I had an Etsy witch put a curse on his team?" And someone was like, "Oh, what team is it?" And they're like, "Oh, the Ravens." And no one thought anything of it. Nick, we now have, I know you don't go on social media, their Ravens flock currently has been spending money on witches to put a reverse curse to save the season. So, it is all hands on deck. We're doing our part, so I just want you to let you know the fan base, I got you guys.
Okay, we have faith in the fan base. We got a great fan base. I know they're going to take care of us.
and it's only crazy if it doesn't work.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
The other part of it is, our spooky season, are you terrified with just how bad Georgia played at home? Is that a concern? Because I'll tell you what, that terrified myself. It terrified Zach. Because you're sitting there going, all of us believed in Georgia.
All of our bets to our fans were for Georgia.
We're like, Georgia's going to do it.
Not a single point in the second half, and we're losing.
Yeah. Guys.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Listen, Georgia is 1-10 in the last 11 games against Alabama. The only offensive coordinator we've had to beat Alabama is now the Ravens offensive coordinator. So it's just one of those humps, man. We just, in the back of your head, you're just like, it's Alabama. They're going to find a way to do something. And we didn't play our best ball. I'm not going to lie. It was disappointing to watch. I was very upset in my hotel room in Kansas City watching that game, and stayed up late for it. And, it just sometimes the cookie does not crumble your way. So we got to be better. We got to play better. And I know I know Coach Smart's going to get them boys right, and I'm sure we'll get another crack at the Tide later in the season, depending on how the rest of their season goes. But not looking good right now.
No, it's not, Nick. Here just when I have my confidence level in Georgia at the highest, and I said it from the start here that confidence level, it was Georgia above everyone else in the SEC, and now look what they have made me do. Now I have to question everything again, and that to me is spooky season. That's terrifying because I want to believe. I want to.
I do too, man.
Not everyone can be like Notre Dame and take care of teams in the SEC. Yep, not every team.
What's their record this year?
Hey, they're 1-2, but they are 1-0 against Georgia in the last calendar year.
Oh. What's their overall against Georgia?
Recency bias. You're only as good as your last game. In Alabama is 1-0. Georgia 0-1. Notre Dame 1-0. That's all I got to say about that. And also, hey, you know what? We don't have to get going on this, sweetheart. I'm sorry, Nick. It's okay. I apologize.
Just disappointing loss for the Dogs.
It was.
Yeah, it
was.
Hey, we have one of our fans, our loyal fan, British Raven, said, I saw Wild Nick Moore get dangerously close to making a tackle against the Chiefs.
I tried my best.
Was it on the run back?
Yeah, it was on our only punt of the game. I got close, but I thought I was like running. I was watching the returner, so I'm like running to cut him off on the sideline. Did not see the guy that pushed me in the back. Don't know why they didn't call it blocking the back, but got pushed from behind and didn't go well. Once I start falling, man, it comes down hard. Comes down pretty hard. Yeah.
You are the biggest snapper in the league.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. That's debatable.
Well, who's the biggest one? Who's bigger than you?
Like height-wise, there's a handful of guys. Weight-wise, the guy in Philly, he's pretty damn big. I don't know how much he weighs, but the guy in Cleveland's like 6'6". He's got to weigh at least 250, 260. But he's just so tall.
Are you, hey, Nick, real question. Are you actually 6'2"?
According to the NFL, I'm 6'3.5".
That's not what it says. It says you are 6'2".
That's not what I was measured at my pro day.
Well, so are you 6'2" or are you 6'3"?
When I'm fully dressed in my uniform, I'm 6'4", dude. What are you talking about?
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, you know what? Whether you're you're not the tallest, but whether
I'm not the tallest by far.
You are still number one.
The heaviest. Yeah, I could definitely be the heaviest long snapper.
What do you think they have you down wise for weight?
255 or 260.
All right, 260.
That's generous.
Caught you off guard on all of it.
No, I'm playing at 260.
Okay.
Yeah. Technically, this morning I was 262, so I'm right on there. I'm right on that.
Whoa.
And 12% body fat. So.
Yeah, I wish I was
12%. 3% body fat. Hey, you're a good crit. They said Nick Moore, Derrick Henry, same body type.
That's right.
Same everything.
We're basically the same. That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. You know what? Maybe Nick will get in the backfield one of these days, right?
There you go.
Probably.
I tried, dude.
Vertical threat.
Monk won't let me, dude.
Hey, with all the injuries, you might be getting that call here soon.
I joke with Todd every week because I know he's seen my fullback tape from Georgia. So I'm like, Monk, I know you've seen the tape, bro. It was there. I got 3 years of film. Give me a chance.
Direct replacement with Pat Ricard.
Yeah, give me a chance, dude. I don't want to hit anybody, but just put me in for a pass or something,
Can we make that a pact here, Zach? We got to find some sort of film on Nick Moore as a fullback at Georgia. It's got to be somewhere.
There's a handful of clips. I played 4 or 5 plays against Louisiana Monroe, my very first game in 2015 against Louisiana Monroe in Athens. I would have played more, but we had a lightning delay the start of the fourth quarter, and we were beating them pretty good, so they canceled the game. I missed a whole quarter worth of.
So you mercy rolled them, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay, so we got that down. Louisiana Monroe, 2015. Nick
Yeah.
Moore, fullback. Highlights. We'll get that.
I played kickoff that game too, and I had 1 rep and I made a tackle. So
okay. So we got a couple things to look
it's
for
there.
there.
Check me out.
There, check you out.
There you go.
Yeah. So I think we're past. What's happening in week 4 happened in week 4.
Yeah.
It's in the rear view. It doesn't matter at this point. Now it's just what matters right now. Week 5, Houston coming to town. They got their first win of the season. That was good for them and their fan base, right?
Mm-hmm.
A couple injuries for the team.
One or two, yeah.
1 or 2 or 10 or 15 or 53, it feels like. But, we'll see what happens. More than likely, you got to prepare to not have a guy like Lamar. You're going to be missing guys on the defensive side. But, Nick, actually, I think this has been a question that's been asked by a lot of people, or a statement, I should say. So Dan Orlovsky was on today on was it ESPN or just himself?
Just him himself, yeah.
So Dano had this comment to say about the Ravens, so I think you would be the perfect guy to respond to this. So let's play the clip about Dan talking about where the Ravens are and what they might be lacking, and it's not because of the injuries.
All right, found out something about the Baltimore Ravens this morning that shocked me. So we're a month into the season. You're trying to figure out who these teams are, why they're playing well, why they're playing poorly, what they have to fix, how they can play better, what can maybe catch them in the end type of thing or bite them over the course of the season. And so you're watching every single snap and trying to formulate what's going on. I'm not a massive numbers person, but there are times when I see things on tape and then I'll send a note or a question to like a research person, a stats person, a hembo, so to speak, and say, hey, I'm seeing this. Do you see that? And found this out about the Ravens. And again, it absolutely shocked me. A month into the season, the Baltimore Ravens with Derrick Henry are the 32nd ranked offense in the NFL when it comes to giving the ball to their running back on first or second down, meaning they run the football on first and second down with their running backs the least out of everybody in the NFL, the Ravens. Yet when they do it, they're second in yards per carry at 6. So to kind of just summarize it, the Ravens on first and second down give the ball to their running backs less than anybody in the NFL, yet they're, when they do, the second best offense in doing that. The Baltimore Ravens with Derrick Henry, that shocks me.
So the context of what he was getting to and with everyone else is, did the Ravens lose their identity? That's what they're trying to say. Now, I have a hunch here that number 22 is going to be pretty active on Sunday. I just have a feeling. But maybe just your response to hearing something like that, and you guys got to deal with criticism all the time, right? Like that's just the nature of it. Your initial thoughts after listening to that bit.
I think he's right. And his what he said there, I felt like watching the game. I feel like we've it kind of struck me this after the game. I was talking to Derek, and he said he averaged 2 carries a quarter against the Chiefs. And, I don't pay attention exactly how many, during the game. So I was like, honestly, I was struck by it, like flabbergasted, like, holy shit, you only had 8 carries? Because I felt like he was running the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
And then we just didn't get the ball. And I think, that's a decision that John and Todd make. And obviously I feel like it's been addressed this week in the media, if I'm not mistaken. John said something about it. And then Todd, I know, spoke on it either yesterday or today. I would imagine that Derrick's going to get the ball more. I think, what he can do with the ball in his hands is something special, and not a lot of guys can do it. I think we, as a team, our identity is physicality and toughness and establishing the run and stopping the run on defense. And, that's like who we are. And so it is a little, it is shocking in a sense to see that we haven't done that, as well as, because I felt like in the first game, would we rush for 200 yards? Derrick rushed for 160 or something.
In the first quarter.
Yeah, and the second quarter, whatever it was.
Yeah. I felt like he had 100 yards at halftime or over 100 yards at halftime. And, I think as a team, we're going to get back to that. And I would imagine that that's kind of the trek we're on. Obviously, with Lamar not being in there, Derek will probably be called on more, but I think that's just part of who we are, and we have to do a better job of that. And like I said, I play long snapper. I have zero control over that. I love watching 22 get the rock. I know he's had some fumbles this year, and he addressed that himself, and he's going to get that cleaned up. I know the kind of man he is and the kind of worker that he is, and he's going to get it fixed, and he knows it's not something that he's done in the past, and it's not acceptable by his standards, and he's going to take care of that. So I'm ready to watch 22 do what 22's done. He told me a stat the other day, and I had to look it up to verify because I almost didn't believe it. Do you know our record when he gets the ball 20 times or more a game?
I'm gonna guess
It's something
you guys have. There might be a 0 at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are 9-0 when he gets the ball 20 plus times a game, and we are. I can't remember the exact. I think we're like 6-8 or 8-9, something like that, when he doesn't get 20 carries. And I would imagine he's going to get the ball. He wants the ball. I think the offense wants to give him the ball. I think it's going to be a fun showing for him.
So, Nick, with that, do you think that you obviously you can't speak for Todd or anything like that. So, and if you don't want to answer this, that's fine. But I was just thinking, like, do you think that some of that of him not getting the ball as much since that week 1 has been a little bit of anxiety with ball security, or do you think it's just because they're trying to figure out the game plan for each opponent, and that's just what the game plan was, whether it was right or wrong?
I mean, I would imagine it was probably the game plan stuff. I think, we didn't run the ball very well against the Browns, against one of the better defensive fronts in the NFL. And they pretty much said that Derrick Henry's not going to beat the Browns. The Ravens, we're going to force Lamar and the wide receivers and the tight ends and the, Justice and other guys to make plays in order to beat us. And I don't know from a schematic standpoint whether the Lions and the Chiefs did the same thing, but I just, I think Todd is a great offensive coordinator. He was great. He's been great for a long time. He's done great since he got here. He's been one of the best in the league. He's a freaking genius when it comes to that. And I have 100% faith in him and getting the calls in. And I think he said today he's got to do a better job. And, I think he will. I mean, he's a great coach, and he knows the talent that he has around him. And he knows kind of the situation that we're going into if Lamar's unable to be out there. So I would venture to say that Derrick's going to play a bigger role. So we'll see what happens.
With that being said, right, the signs are pointing that if that you guys are going to be without Lamar. And if he does play, he's probably going to be hindered. But hypothetically, let's go with the fact that he ain't going to play on Sunday. I'm really intrigued about Cooper Rush because I think a lot of people want to write it off, but not too long ago when he was with Dallas and he had to come in when Dak went down, I think they went, 4-1 or something like that. Could you just talk to people that don't know about Cooper as a guy coming in? It seems like this isn't like it's another backup. This is a backup that's had experience. And quite frankly, I'd argue the supporting cast for the offense, I think, call me crazy, Houston's tough. Houston's a really tough defense. But this might be the best supporting cast he's had with a quarterback with all the weapons that are at his disposal, if that is the case.
Cooper he's probably one of the most winning, obviously we got Flacco and some other guys that are now backups in the league, these older players, but Cooper's got to be one of the most winning backups, like a true backup quarterback. And the guy's a genius. Like, he knows football up and down. I love talking to him. I've gotten to know him really well since he got here. And I just love talking to him about football because he just has such a great understanding of the game, and he understands what we're trying to do and what we're trying to get done and the players and the abilities that they have. And, I have full confidence in him. Obviously, he's a different player than Lamar. He doesn't, nobody plays like Lamar. So Cooper is going to have to do different stuff, but this has got to be, he's got everybody healthy. Zay's back, Mark, Zay Flowers. He's got Bateman. He's got Derek. He's got Justice. He's got D-Hop. I mean, he's got Tez. I don't know what's going to happen with Tez, but Tez, like, he's got everybody in our, we're basically starting everybody except for, number 8. So he's got a full unit. I think he's going to do some really good things. I'm excited for him because I think he's going to be able to showcase the stuff that he did in Dallas when, he kind of filled in towards the end of the season when Dak got hurt and, some of the other guys got hurt and the season was kind of chalked. Like, we're a team, we've only played 4 games. We still got 13 games to go. Like, the season ain't over. People are like saying, oh, we're 1-3. Like, yeah, we don't want to be 1-3. It's not a great record. We know we're better than that. And we are banged up. We got a lot of injuries, but we still got 13 games left. Like, there's a real possibility that we still win our division and are the number 1 seed in the AFC. Obviously, we got to win, most of our games that we have left, but that's still on the table. We're not throwing in the towel because we're 1-3 at the end of September. Like, we still got October, November, December, and early January to play football, and then mid and late January too. So we're going to continue to win, and Cooper can win games for us. He's won games in the NFL. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to operate at quarterback. He knows how to, be successful. And I think he's going to do just that. He's, like I said, he's not Lamar Jackson, but the guy's a winner, and he's going to continue to do that. And I think he's going to do that for us. And I'm excited for him to get this opportunity.
Yeah. If the defense can make some stands here in week 5, if they can find a way to make some stops, because that's going to be the big thing here. And no knock to, Cleveland's Cleveland. That's just, they have their situation. The 3 losses have come to 3 Super Bowl aspiring teams. Good rosters, good offenses, etc. Houston has some pieces, but they have their deficiencies. So this will be interesting to see. But offensively, yeah, that's kind of the thing right now. Cooper Rush as a starting quarterback is 9-5 in his career. So when he gets out there, he's made some plays. Is it going to be to the effect of what Lamar Jackson does?
No, but
that's going to be a tall task. But I think the part of Brad on Monday was going, man, the boys need some. They're 2-4 into the bye. They're cooked. But Brad, I mean, maybe not saying that they run the table in the 1 seed, but your opinions even changed in the last couple of days.
I studied the schedule and thought about which teams were able to. The Ravens, I think, even as the roster is, were able to beat. And I came up with a 12-5 record. That's what I was
like.
I think that, obviously you want to go out there and win every game, Nick. I was just looking at the schedule and thinking, hey, if there's no Lamar this week, seems like a pretty easy win. I can say that. You can't say that. I'm saying that. If the Rams game might be up in the air, but the rest of the schedule a lot easier than it was in September. So I think that there's a lot of a great run that the team can go on after the bye, after everybody, a lot of people come back a little bit healthier, that things start to look a little bit better, a little bit brighter as the season goes on.
You win this one, it changes a lot of people's perceptions. Nick, you know that. It's week by week.
That's every week. Yeah.
It's every week. But
they don't call it Overreaction Monday for nothing.
Yeah, it's every single week. It's hit or miss all the time.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys went to Kansas City and won, then everyone was going to forget about what happened with Detroit. You know what I mean? You win the first game against Buffalo, this doesn't seem as bad. It's because of where you guys are and the expectations. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I hope you are not punting very often. I hope that you're kicking extra points, and
I would love it.
That would be nice. That'd be nice. But I think it's a good framework, and I'm excited for you. So I think that's kind of all I got for you. I don't want to get you too. Zach's got one thing.
Were you wearing 46 in this game? Any chance for Georgia?
43.
Okay, I looked it up. Who was 46 then? Because
he was also fullback. Glenn Welch was his name.
I was hoping it wasn't Glenn.
Welch.
Back to the drawing board. I thought you had a really nice setup block here, but not you.
No. I played
46. It was like, I know that guy. There he is.
I was 43 at Georgia.
Classic.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board.
Oh, you're a good kid, Nick.
You'll find it. It's in there. It's probably, I think it was either end of the third or beginning of the fourth that I was on offense.
Yeah, this is.
I started that game on kickoff return. I actually played a lot of kickoff return in my first 2 years in college. I played I think I played 8 games at kickoff return in my first 2 years.
You were the returner?
No, I was
Oh.
back in the day. We had the old school kickoff where we had 3 wedge, like we had 3 guys that were like on the 20-ish,
Yeah.
and then we had a guy that the returner was deep. And my first ever play at Georgia, I was the center back on the kickoff return. I was standing on the 15-yard line, middle of the field. We had Brendan Douglas on my left. He was like in the left alley or numbers in college on the 20, and they hit a pooch punt. My first ever game, my first play. We were returning the ball. They hit a pooch punt to like the hash on like the 18-yard line to my left, and I'm like running over there, and I look at Brendan Douglas, who he was at that time. I think he was in his 3rd year. He was running back. He had played a lot of football, and I literally, my eyes were like so big, and I literally looked at him because I was like the point guy for like a pooch kick. If basically like center field, if I wanted to catch the ball, I could call off the other guy and catch the ball. I had like priority, and I remember I saw that ball kicked. I looked at Brandon. My eyes were so big. I pointed at him, was like, you. And I immediately ran up the field to start blocking because I was like, I should have caught it in hindsight, but that was my first play ever at Georgia. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this.
Well, and that maybe is why your career has led to long snapping here in Baltimore. But you know what? You knew your strengths and your weaknesses. And maybe you were not made for the hands team, Nick. But hopefully you're active, but in a good way on Sunday. I'll text you after this. We got to catch up on a lot more. But, hey, be good, be safe, relax. And I hope for the Georgia Bulldogs' sake as well they get back on track, okay?
Me too.
All
right, boys. See you guys.
Take a deep breath and good luck on Sunday.
Thanks, boys.
See you,
Nick Moore, everybody.
Hey.
I thought I had it.
Yeah, well, we'll go back to the drawing board and we'll find if we can
It's out
find
there. I'm
some
gonna find it. Don't worry.
some
We'll get Nick
fullback
Moore highlights.
the fullback highlights for Nick Moore back at Georgia. But Nick and the Ravens, they got a tall task. Houston, look, that defense is ferocious. There's a lot of question marks, backs against the wall. You win that game though and get the 2 and 3, you can breathe a little bit better. And hopefully you can feel like things can start to turn. But if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday during the football season. We changed our hours, obviously, as baseball season has come to an end. We will get into some baseball later on because there has been some great series so far.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal. But we're going to stay with football here for a second. And if you're ready, just give me a thumbs up behind the screen. If you're ready to rock and roll, well, I think it was fitting that we just had Nick on. Well, Nick's going to be playing in the game, but we have the guy that's going to be in the booth calling the game, and you hear him all the time on CBS, not just for football, college basketball, one of the best in the business, Mr. Iron Eagle. How are you doing?
What's up? Good to see you guys.
Well, appreciate you taking time.
Yeah.
And, I first got to ask you about this, the father-son connection. I come from a baseball family.
Yeah, sure.
And I was able to – I lived out my dream. I played. I didn't get up to the big leagues necessarily. But I got to ask, my dad and I talk about the game all the time and being involved with it. I think it's one of the coolest things, seeing what you have done with your career and now what your son has done. Do you ever take a step back and see where that kind of has evolved to, or do you have some of that full circle moment at all?
Ryan, probably the best part of the equation is the last 2 years. I've had some fellow broadcasters come up to me when I'm doing games and they say, "Hey, I saw your brother last week." I'm like, "Yes, let's stick with that." Makes me feel so great. No, it's been fantastic. And look, you can relate on so many levels. If your son has an interest in what you do, that's a win, just that alone. And then if he's actually interested in doing what you do, that takes it to another level. And then if he's successful at it, now you've got a whole new dynamic to the relationship. Ultimately, and I'm sure it's true with you and your dad, it's father-son first, and everything else pales in comparison, but it has given us this whole other frame of reference to go off of and shared experiences. And in many ways, I'm an older person now, but I get to live vicariously through him because he's doing it all for the first time around again. And those memories that I have get rekindled. In addition, because we have a lot of similarities, when I watch him, I get to see what a younger, better looking, in better shape version of myself looks like out there. So that's also ego inflating.
Hey, you know what? The brother comment, by the way, that I get and I can relate to, and I don't know how I feel being the younger side. So I'd love to know what Noah thinks, because I just saw a comment the other day because the Orioles are looking for a new manager, and the comment was, well, why don't you and your brother Cal, do you want to get involved in the game? And I go, oh, and so I kind of sit there and I cringe. Not that, could we be brothers? Sure. But do I look that old now?
Yeah.
Like I'm 32.
And honestly, Billy should be pissed. If anyone was going to be pissed, it should be Billy.
Thank you for that. But in all seriousness, everything that you just spoke on, that does resonate with me. Yeah. The father-son connection is first and foremost, but it is cool to then have those conversations. And I know it's the evolution of it. And I even loved watching your interviews. I think even how you guys described, I think it was even about how you, in certain instances, I think for football, how you would say interception, intercepted, right? I think that was the latest that I saw. I don't know that those little moments right there, I think are just really special. So
thanks, Ryan.
I appreciate that. Well, now I got to know on the side, because I'm getting into broadcasting. You've been doing this for quite some time, to say the least. It's a blessing. You've seen so much. I always, when I hear your voice, college basketball, football, the two moments. Yep. Have you ever sat there and you look back I've been a part of that? Do you ever look back at any of those, or maybe some of those memories that stick out to you more? Because I went through watching all of the games that you have called in March Madness, and it's insane to me how many moments you've been a part of. So maybe could you share to me what it's like looking back at one of maybe the couple top moments for you in college basketball or in the NFL career that you've had?
Yeah, the funny part for me is I'm 28 years in calling the NCAA tournament. I'm 28 years in calling the NFL, and I was always the young person when I started. I was by far the youngest at the network that I was working at. I started doing NBA at 25 years old. So it took a while for me to see the bigger picture, that I had compiled a lot of years doing this. That means a lot of games. That means a lot of different partners. At some point, I started keeping track of the number of partners that I've worked with. It's now at 158. Wow. So you just begin to have those synapses firing of a visual here, a memory there, a call that comes back when you're on social media. Even though I've got burner accounts, I'm not public on social media, I do hear a bunch of old calls that'll just pop up on my feed. And I have to think to myself, man, do I remember the game itself? And then it starts to come back to me, and then memories of the crew I worked with and the partner that I had and the hotel that I stayed in that weekend and the guy that was next to me in the room next door that had sleep apnea and kept me up till 3 a.m. because it's loud. Yeah. So all those things keep happening to me. It's been wild to think back, and I still see myself as someone that has a lot more to do in the business, a lot more years to bank. So I'm not sure I'm fully in that mode of reminiscing and looking back, but I do recognize that there's now a faction of sports fans of a certain age that grew up just listening to either my voice or other CBS voices that have called the NFL or college basketball for all these years. And it does hit me and strikes me in a way that it is incredibly a dream come true. Truly, Ryan, that's not just coming from a cliche riddled play. This is what I dreamed of doing as a kid. So to do it and to think about the moments that I've been a part of is pretty staggering.
And you like to have fun with it. You know,
I
saw what you did with JJ Watt the other week there. Did you guys see that? It was going back to the 1975-esque. And you,
yeah,
obviously, I mean, I don't think you shaved it. So it was a fake mustache. I don't know though. You could pull that look off, by the way. Was it fake? Was it fake?
Yeah. The only concern that I had after the game ended and I came back home, local authorities did approach me and told me to stay 200 feet away from schools. They thought I might be an issue within the community. No, it was not a great look. It was a fake mustache. I'll own up to it.
Oh, no. This is 100% real. This thing's lethal. Right there. What are you talking about? Look at that thing.
Yeah. That was literally 3 seconds into our stand-up. JJ could not keep it together because we were staring into each other's eyes as they were counting down. All right, coming to you guys in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I gave him one little extra stare right at the end just to let him know, hey, we're in it together, dude. It was like Thelma and Louise. We were just going over the cliff together.
That is, I don't know.
That's Ron Burgundy-esque.
That is beautiful. And you know,
I'm Iron Eagle.
That is sensational right there.
The problem, just to give you behind the scenes, there was some adhesive on it, and I could feel it giving. And I did not want this thing to fall off during the open. So anytime I smiled, it would edge off my lip. And I just tried to keep it straight the entire time. So we got through it. It was fun. JJ, he went full lumber there in Office Space. I don't know if that was the intention, but that's how it came across.
You know what? It was a beautiful moment. But when you're on the job, right, you got to have fun. You got to enjoy it. And it's one thing to go out there, and you said it's a privilege to be out there. It's a dream that you want to live, and you're doing it for as long as you have because you're pretty damn good at what you do. And above all, though, like, you got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy the moment because it comes and goes. I think this game should be good in Baltimore, if we don't mind talking about that for a second. Maybe not exactly when the schedule came out that you went, you know what, Texans, Ravens, 2 playoff teams, going to be a great atmosphere, which it still will be at the bank. But Lamar Jackson, more than likely, is not going to be out there. The Texans are trying to find their footing, but they got their first victory. The Ravens, I don't know who exactly besides Lamar is going to be playing on the defensive side. So, from your perspective right now, I mean, what is something that you're kind of looking towards with this game? Because this isn't what people thought going into week 5.
No. Part of, I think, what made the Ravens so unique in how they approach their offense since Lamar Jackson took over is they had backup quarterbacks that were primarily running QBs and could at least mirror what the intention was of their offensive philosophy. And this year, they made a clear decision not to go in that direction. That's not a knock on Cooper Rush at all. Cooper did a nice job in Dallas when called upon, but he is not going to be mistaken for a dual threat. So if indeed he is the starting QB, which we presume he will be, it's going to look different. It's going to have to be different. And with that, it brings a sense of mystery. The assumption would be they're going to lean a bit more on the run game, and Derrick Henry the last couple of weeks have been odd. It just has not been what we've grown accustomed to. Forget about Baltimore, Derrick Henry. I'm talking about Derrick Henry in general. the fumbles from a couple of weeks ago and then such little usage last week. We'll see how Baltimore approaches this thing, even beyond the injuries, which are significant. And let's face it, this is something that happens in the NFL. The Ravens, for the most part, have avoided the rash of injuries under Harbaugh that we're seeing this year. But when healthy, they were not playing at a level that we've grown accustomed to. Defensively, there have been concerns stopping the run. They've been gashed so far early in the season. They've played a killer schedule. But what was the perception, Ryan, prior to the season? First 4 weeks would be all about, this will affect seeding for Baltimore because these will be tiebreakers down the road. Now, 4 weeks in, forget about that. The story is more, hey, can we get this team to January and be a part of this? Because if you do, they're really dangerous and they could beat anybody, but you got to get there first. Concerns, Houston's in an equally desperate situation. They got a win finally last week. Their losses have been very close. They've played a tougher schedule as well. Defensively, they have been outstanding, and maybe there's a bit of a shift to their identity under DeMeco Ryans. CJ Stroud in year 3, it's been harder. It's been tougher to get this offense going. But you're playing a team that also went to the divisional round last year. These are two teams that had serious hopes coming into the season. So you're right. It'll be a great scene. Ravens fans always show up. It's still one of the best atmospheres in the NFL. I love doing games there. The broadcast booth itself is set up in a way where you just have a great view, great sight lines. You're in it. The fans are literally in front of you. Many years ago, when they started doing instant replay in the booth, one of the years, fans right in front of me thought I was the replay guy. So anytime there was a controversial call, they would turn to me, and I'm looking at them like, dude, it's not me. And then finally, by the end, I was just giving them a thumbs up or thumbs down, and they were pointing to me. Or they thought I was Daniel Snyder. I don't know what they thought, but I believe they thought I was the replay official.
So you have a man of many roles is what I'm hearing right now.
A chameleon, if you will.
Exactly. Before I get you out of here, I think, Brad, you had a follow-up real quick.
Yeah, so you had mentioned, by the way, thanks for coming on the show. I
got it, Brian.
So I was just listening to you talk about the quarterback situation and that, like, this is going to be unique. And then I got to thinking about, well, anytime Lamar's been out, the replacement has been somewhat Lamar-like in that
Yes.
they're dual threat quarterbacks, whether it was RG3 or Snoop or whoever. Now you have basically a drop back quarterback, and this will be an interesting way to look at the Ravens because offensively since 2018, it's always been about this dual threat.
Agreed. And I love that angle for our game because more often than not in the NFL, you have a feel or a sense of what a team is going to do. Take Cleveland this week. Yes, when you have a new quarterback, there's always going to be a sense of surprise and mystery because you just don't know how they'll handle it. Cooper's been around long enough, and they clearly signed him with the idea that they felt he could be an asset to them. And anyone you talk to will tell you he's really smart, great processor, has leadership abilities, might be a coach one day. I mean, that's a very good possibility. All of that is irrelevant when you need a win in the worst way, and you need guys to feel like there's a trust level and they can rally around who is playing the position. But, Baltimore, when you think of them, you just think of Lamar Jackson and you think of his dynamic abilities and you take him out of the mix. Obviously, the team's going to have to approach it differently. Even when they had quarterbacks that you just mentioned, it was never going to be Lamar. You can't simulate it. You can't assume that your offense is going to run in the same manner. But it does, for me, make it one of those games that you have no idea, if indeed it goes this way, what's going to unfold here.
And I guess that's the beauty of it. You got to go and play and see what transpires here. And I know people in Baltimore, they hope that this can be stopping the bleeding, that they get a victory. They got the Rams coming to town after that. Who knows what happens, but you get to the bye and feel like there's still some life, and not that you feel like you got to go into not a full panic isn't the right word, but the urgency and the room for error diminishes. And it's really, there is no room for error if Baltimore scuffles into the bye week. So we'll see how it finishes out here. Before I let you go, last thing, I always ask this from a baseball or from a NFL perspective of guys when they first start off. For baseball, it was all these minor league stories. In the NFL, maybe it was welcome to the NFL. Do you have a story from way back? We go back in time now when you were getting going that maybe sticks out to you a little bit more, whether it was hardship or, it was kind of for you, kind of welcome to the broadcasting world.
Yeah, so I got a job out of college at WFAN Radio, the first all-sports station in New York. Grew up in New York, in Queens. Started there as a producer. Was told emphatically, look, if you want to be on the air, this is not the place for you. It's not going to happen here. I took the job anyway because I thought chance to go back to my hometown and get into the environment that I eventually want to be in on air. And although I recognize the circumstances, I accepted that this would be a great learning experience no matter what. I was almost looking at it as graduate school. So I get a chance about 15 months in. Someone was sick. As cliche as that is, someone was sick. They asked me, could I do updates on a football Sunday, September of 1991, and went in, did the shift. I was working with the current Mets radio play-by-play man, Howie Rose, longtime play-by-play man, outstanding broadcaster, and I was his producer for a little more than a year. And as I'm getting ready to do the updates, the Mets were also in action, and Howie, in a studio adjacent to me, decided to moon me on the first update. Full moon. Really testing my chops. And I saw it all. I mean, it was there.
It was a full moon, some would say.
Full moon. Full moon. And I think back now at how utterly insane that was, that he did it, but how humorous it was to put me into the rigors of challenging my concentration level and my professionalism. And guys, I passed with flying colors. His ass did not affect me in any way, shape, or form, or booty, depending upon your vernacular.
Oh, well, that, you know what? I was following the story. I'm like, this is a feel good. You're waiting for the opportunity.
Feel good.
And then you got a full shot
all right.
of some ass. So you know what?
I got some man ass. It happens.
You know what they say, that, that's just, you have to wait your turn. You wait for someone to be sick, and then you have to look at some.
Agreed.
And there you are. Whammy. 28 years later.
Yeah. And Howie was not sick because I saw it all. He was in good form. No hernia.
Good for him. You know what? And I'm glad. I've learned a lot about the industry. I learned a lot about some family dynamics and, the origin story of Iron Eagle. This has been phenomenal. Well, thanks, I appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
I hope I get to see you sometime down the road, whether
That'd
it's
be great.
in Baltimore, but safe travels when you're here. Enjoy the game, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
And please give my best to your brother, please.
Okay, we'll do on that. We'll do. Thank you. Iron Eagle, everybody. That was amazing. I did not see that coming right there at all. Full ass.
I had to stand up because I was afraid I was just going to start dying laughing into the microphone.
So you would have failed to the point right there.
Yeah.
You would have failed the test.
Concentration.
Like you said, I was in this full zone of, oh, this is an awesome feel-good story. Like Jim Palmer came on,
I felt pretty
about,
good about it.
Sick day, a sick day, and that's the start. And And then he's like, and then he's just mooning me.
And then he showed me his ass.
And I thought he was going to be like, and right before I went on, like the Mets scored or something happened, and like on the fly I had to change with the
I thought that
like,
too.
I thought it was going to be like first big test, like of course as I'm going on, and then he's like, and then from across, I see him mooning me during. And I was like, that was just not where I was expecting that to go.
And then him, man ass. I saw some man ass. I'm like, you know what? Hey, growing up in the locker room, I saw a lot of man ass too there. But it was great.
Yeah.
Amazing. For so many different angles. And if you're new to the channel, we got guests like that. Now I got to say that was phenomenal, but we do have caliber guests like this all the time. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live on YouTube, X, and Facebook every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. And tomorrow we'll be live as well from Federal Hill around 5 p.m. to kind of get you ready for a little happy hour weekend over at Liv's Tavern. We'll explain that later in the show. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts, you can hear the Ryan Ripken Show. And man, you know what? I love the point, and it was a great point that you made, Brad, when it came to the Ravens, and Ian mentioned it as well. We haven't seen a quarterback that didn't match the skill set of Lamar since, before Lamar was the starting quarterback, right? It was Joe Flacco.
Right.
And then RG3, Tyler Huntley.
Well, yeah, and I think Tyler Huntley and RG3 were backups because they at least resembled the dynamic quarterback.
Yeah, the threat
right.
running.
So like nobody's going to match where Lamar is, obviously, but like just being able to say, okay, we can still game plan similarly because these guys can move. They're mobile. And not to say that Cooper Rush isn't, but he's not the dynamic quarterback that any of the three that I mentioned are. So that's what's going to be the big question for me. It's like, how does this offense operate with a quarterback that's more of that drop back style of play?
Yeah, and honestly, I think that can help the Ravens get back to who they are as a football team.
You're going to force them to run the ball. That's for sure.
And hey, you know what? I loved also talking to Nick. He didn't give a sugarcoat answer of, we're grinding. He goes, it's talked about within the organization.
I love that Nick said that, like, Dan Orlovsky was right.
And
there was no like, oh, that guy's full of shit.
No. And also, he went on to say, the Ravens, they recognize that. And I think right now, I would be shocked if Derrick Henry doesn't get the ball at least 20 times. I would be shocked if he doesn't get it almost 30 times, just solely based off of leaning on him when you need him most. But I will say this. I'm not expecting against the Houston Texans defense that the Ravens can put up 30.
Yeah.
But I think Cooper Rush can do a really good job here with the guys that they have. And I do think if it's not the Texans defense and they were playing a different defense that isn't a top-tier group, I think Cooper Rush and this Ravens team can push for 30 points. Not that it will happen, but I think that this style could maybe get the Ravens back on track, or at least that toughness.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be physical, and I think that's been lacking for them both on defense and offense.
Yeah, I was just about to say on both sides of the ball for sure. I don't know where you want to go with this next, but I did have my scenarios as far as like where I see the rest of this season going with the Ravens. So if you want to stay on football for a sec before we move over to baseball?
Yeah, we can stay on that because we're also after this we'll hit our Commander's Corner, then we're gonna and there's one more little football news, and we're gonna bop into this playoffs because that's been phenomenal in Major League Baseball. But why don't we stay on? Brad's now come back down. He's had some moments where the emotions have passed. Because on Monday, Brad was, this team's done. If they're 2-4, done. Now you're like, so you're telling me there's a chance. So walk us through.
They don't call us fanatics for nothing. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's all you're saying. Well, tell me what you're saying about this schedule.
So obviously, as we know, the first 4 weeks of the season, the Ravens are 1-3. Not great odds. Still, anytime the Ravens have been 1-3, historically have not made the playoffs. However, there's an extra game in here now.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a path forward where the Ravens could end up making the playoffs or possibly even winning the division.
Oh.
And that all kind of depends on what the Steelers do. If they continue on this run, that's probably going to be a tall task. It's a tall task regardless. But I think there's a scenario in which they come out of this 12-5, which that was the same record the Ravens had last season. And they made the playoffs, went on the two playoff games. This week, I think that Ravens should take care of business against the Texans. The offense on Ravens defense obviously hasn't been playing well, but the Houston Texans offense has been just as bad. And I do think that if the Ravens stay true to who they should be and that time of possession takes over, they keep running the ball, they should win this game handedly. The Rams, they're 3-1. I don't think that the Ravens can overcome the Rams freight train that's going on right now, especially with all the injuries. I think they lose that game. So that makes them 2-4 going into the bye. After the bye, Lamar Jackson should be back. I think that there's going to be a lot more players that are out over the next 2 weeks that will be back, and they play the Bears. I think they absolutely smoke the Bears the way that the Lions smoke the Bears because that they're just on two different levels. Then you have Ravens Dolphins at the last game of October. And if you put me in as quarterback, I think that the Ravens still win that game against the Dolphins. Then you have the Vikings. The Vikings aren't playing well either. They should win that game. You have the Browns. I think they sweep the Browns in Cleveland. After that, then you have the Jets. The Jets are 0-4. They'll probably still be winless at this point. They should win that game. Then you have the Bengals, who arguably have a worse defense than the Ravens have, and they should win that game as well. That's that Thursday night game at home on Thanksgiving. Then it's the first week in December, and it's Steelers-Ravens. I do think it's in Pittsburgh. This is the first game they lose after the bye.
Yeah, well, this game is in Baltimore.
Baltimore, sorry.
Yeah.
It is in Baltimore. I think that this is the first game they lose after the bye, so then that makes them 12-5. Or what is it? Whatever, their fifth loss. Then it's back to Cincy. The Cincy at home. I think they should win that game. Then you have Patriots. They should win that game. Green Bay. Tough game, but I think they could still end up winning it. And then you get to the last game of the season. That's January 4th. It could come down to this game as far as where the division, whoever wins the division. But given the fact that I have them losing the first game against the Steelers, I think they probably split it. They should win this game. And then the Ravens could end up winning the division or at the very least making the playoffs if all that takes place.
The reality is for Baltimore is you just got to get in. You got to get into the dance.
But 12-5 should do it. And I think they could. I mean, they have a really easy schedule after the bye.
Well, and we've heard this. Any given Sunday, you got to go out there and you got to execute, you got to play. But this is what I was trying to say before, where if you can get to 2-4 going into the bye,
yeah.
If you can be 2-4. Now, if you win both games, and presumably without Lamar Jackson and the defense being banged up at 3-3, it gets really interesting when you get healthy.
Ravens are back.
But the Ravens more than likely are going to be favored, Zach. What? They're going to be favored in almost every single game.
If Lamar's on the field healthy, they're going to be favored in
every game until Green Bay.
I was going to say coming off the bye every game. And that's going to assume that Joe Burrow's not playing in at least
he's not
that what's it called, the Thursday
if he doesn't play on the Thanksgiving game.
I could see the one in December in Cincinnati, but
but he's going to be a shell of himself. Like he's going to be maybe 2-3 weeks back from that surgery or from that injury. I just don't see Joe Burrow being the same guy.
I would say with this right now for Baltimore, the two games on the road that the Dolphins, you can't drop that one. I think they should win that one, right? Like you should not.
That's
lose.
what you put anybody in a quarterback.
But you shouldn't. But you never know. But like Minnesota's defense on the road, they only lose that game as if they turn the ball over, in my opinion, because of they have question marks. But Minnesota is a very well coached team.
Yeah.
Cleveland, you split with Cleveland the last X amount of years, so that is going to be a tough game to go and win, just because historically the Ravens. They haven't swept the Browns recently, but all this
that quarterback situation is really bad right now.
But all that being said, the point of this whole conversation is they are going to be favored if Lamar Jackson is healthy after the bye, they will be favored in every game until they go to Green Bay. And if that's the case, and you're looking at it and you're going to tell me there's a chance, Zach, I mean, it's so far down the line. But they're going to have a shot. They have to beat Houston this weekend. And I really do think perfect storm-wise, I think you help the defense by running the football. We talked about it last show on Monday. Set the tone, create that identity of running the football, take pressure off Cooper Rush, and then for the Ravens defense, can you force a few stops against the Texans team that's had trouble scoring? Can you contain Nico Collins? I think you can be in a good position. And then who knows? Rams got to travel across the country after they played tonight against the San Francisco 49ers, who are extremely banged up, but it is a division game, right? It's a division game.
But they have a long week leading up to the Ravens game.
And that's still a very, very important game for them.
Yeah.
Right. So we know how division games can take a toll on teams. So we'll see how it plays out. But for Baltimore,
very real possibility they come out
There's a hope.
after the bye. They only have one loss.
there's some hope here. So you tell me there's a chance. So before we get into baseball, I still want to go around a couple subjects here in the NFL side. So if we're going to stick to around Maryland, okay, why don't we jump right down to the Commanders here? Because the Commanders corner, they're getting their quarterback back. The Commanders sit at 2-2. Jaden Daniels is back practicing. He's been cleared by the doctors. Terry McLaurin's back practicing, Zach?
Yes, back practicing. And actually, funny, I literally was about to go edit this because I kid you not, 45 seconds ago, they just tweeted out that Terry is out so that he is back practicing,
But not playing.
but he, Noah Brown, and Sam Cosme, some help coming back, especially on that offensive line with Cosme. It's getting there, but not just yet. They actually just opened up the 21-day window on Cosme a few days ago, so expecting him to be out for probably another week or two until they get him back. But Terry McLaurin back at practice, but will not be playing this weekend, so we'll see how that factors in. But at the end of the day, I don't want to, it's the Bears. Rematch.
No. This weekend?
Not the Bears.
Chargers.
That's Chargers.
Next week's the Bears.
Week,
Yep.
because that's when we have the Hail Mary revenge game. So against the Chargers, I understand with that physical of a defense because they've gotten some they've got some dogs over there. I understand why you're not going to want to play guys if they aren't 100% healthy. So for Terry McLaurin, I think that's okay to not have him. And to be honest, I think Deebo Samuel allows you to do that because we've seen so many times where maybe if you feel like you have nothing else, you might have to press a little bit. But I think the Commanders are in a good situation. Jaden Daniels returns, which is the biggest, and that's the storyline. Terry McLaurin, yes and no. Obviously, he's a top-end wide receiver. You're always going to want to have those guys. But first and foremost, this team goes as far as Jaden Daniels goes. So for him to be back, him to be cleared, that's what you wanted to see if you're a Commanders fan.
And the Chargers right now, they're coming off that loss to the Jackson Dart-led New York Giants. So they have a sour taste in their mouth coming back to play.
Game of all time.
Obvious.
The second that was on the schedule when they're like, yeah, Jackson Dart's playing, I was like, they're going to beat them. Just because they'd been playing so many teams close and then losing at the last second, like to the Cowboys and stuff with Russ, I was like, just give them some energy. They'll steal one.
And you know what? They did. And now for the Commanders, can they get back on track? They play a Chargers team that they still, as a team, they're going to be one of the favorites in the AFC. Still are going to now try to get it going again and try to now keep the Chiefs at bay. That's the team that they're going to continue to compete against. I know the Broncos will be a tough matchup. They already won the head-to-head against the Broncos and the Chiefs. But for the Commanders, Jaden's back, and we will see if they are able to get over 500 and get to 3-2. One other NFL note then, and we talked about, or Brad, you mentioned it just a second ago, that the Cleveland quarterback situation has been a mess. If you've seen the campaign, Marty Huggins, you better get yourself a broom because it's a mess. And the Brownies, look, Cleveland's defense, it's evident. They have a really good defense. Yeah. It's a physical defense. Their front seven can match up with almost any throughout the NFL. They were physical to start against the Lions, but offensively, and unfortunately for Joe, didn't play his best game. They didn't protect him very well as well, but they turned the ball over and the Lions ended up running away with it. And special teams, the Lions also had a touchdown in that mix. So what's Kevin Stefanski do? Decides to make a quarterback change. Dylan Gabriel, their third-round pick from this year, quarterback from Oregon. he is now QB1, but I believe QB2 is
Joe
still
Flacco.
going to be Joe Flacco.
It is.
And the reason why we bring this up is that QB3 is staying as Shedeur Sanders. And this is where, when we're saying it about it's been a mess, there's just been this cloud around the Cleveland Browns, and no one likes to necessarily have that, especially for a player that is not going to be playing and helping your team specifically this Sunday. But it was a strange situation. I don't know if you guys saw our audience. I know Brad and Zach, you saw the clip. Shedeur Sanders then was asked about Dylan Gabriel being the quarterback, and this was his response. And if you have trouble hearing, just keep in mind, this isn't your ears that are deceiving you. So let's play that clip for you guys.
Vocally, anything to say?
I guess one more. I guess what do you think you have to show? Show to the coaches just to have them have that belief in you that you can be ready.
What can you say?
How much has Joe been important to both you and Dylan in terms of your guys' development to this point?
So right there, what ended up happening was Shedeur Sanders essentially went, was it pantomime? He was just miming it out, did
Where's
not
John
say a
Boy?
word. Yeah, where's John Boy?
Yeah,
when we
where
need
is
it for
John
that?
Boy?
That's who we need on this case.
Yeah, so right there, he didn't say a word. He just mouthed it, and that's why I was saying your ears are not deceiving you. When the audio was playing, Shedeur Sanders just mouthed responses but didn't actually say it out loud. So the reason why he did that is because it was alluding to, Adam Schefter reported, of what happened on Get Up with Rex Ryan, where Rex Ryan called out Shedeur recently about antics and his behavior inside the Cleveland Browns facility and how he's been. So let's play that clip of and reference of what Shedeur, of why he did what he did in those interviews just yesterday.
Standing coach, all right? But why the hell isn't he putting Shedeur Sanders? We're all waiting to see the Shedeur Sanders be the guy or Gabriel, whatever. Something's missing. Something's missing with this kid. This kid talks. He runs his mouth like I could be a starting quarterback with his arms crossed like this. Get your ass in the front row and study and do all that. If I know, the whole league knows. Quit being an embarrassment that way. You got the talent to be the quarterback. You should be. You should be embarrassed that you're not the quarterback now.
We'll see if they make a change there. And
So Rex was pretty critical, to say it lightly, but that's how Rex has been. He's been with that with anybody he's talked about. He's done that to his former team with the Ravens. He's talked about it throughout the NFL. But
He doesn't sugarcoat his opinions. Everybody knows that.
no, he doesn't. But, the bigger story here is, Dylan Gabriel is going to be the quarterback, and that's no surprise. Shedeur Sanders, whether people agree or not, he is going to get a lot of attention because of what happened and transpired from his time in college to then the draft, the whole draft situation and drama, and now being in Cleveland, where leading into the season, the report dropped when they played the Ravens. Shedeur and his team turned down being drafted by the Ravens, which ironically, could that have mean that Shedeur could be starting for the Ravens this week if he had been drafted? And, quite frankly, if it was anybody else, we're probably not having the conversation of interviewing a third-string quarterback.
We're not.
But because of where things are and because of where it's developed, they are talking about it, and it's a negative light on Cleveland when it should be a bigger story that Dylan Gabriel is going to get a chance here to start the game.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there, pundits, whatever, that are talking about, well, why are we even interviewing a third-string quarterback? Why are we drawing attention to this? Because of the attention that the Sanders family, Dion and Shedeur and others, have brought upon themselves. I mean, do we remember the draft night where Shedeur Sanders had like this giant big-ass party, spent God knows how much on with all the attention drawn on him, thinking that he was going to go in the first round, and then he doesn't go until the 5th. And this type of behavior, Rip, kind of makes me wonder what conversations went on during pre-draft interviews. Because if there was this same, and I say arrogance, not confidence, because this is arrogance, in my opinion, was displayed during those pre-draft interviews, then it's no wonder that he was drafted in the 5th round, and it's no wonder that he's the 3rd string quarterback. And I actually wanted to bring this up, but I couldn't download it. But I wanted to share. Trey Wingo actually shared some interesting stats too regarding the most accurate quarterback in college football, which Shedeur Sanders was at 71.8% of his passes were completed. Of the top 20 most accurate quarterbacks in the college football, guess how many of them are star quarterbacks in the NFL?
Not many.
Not many, being one, and that's Joe Burrow. And Baker Mayfield's in there too. Maybe he's a star quarterback. You can make that debate, but like of the top 20, from 71.8% at Shedeur Sanders all the way down to Jake Haener at Fresno State, 68.2%. None of those made it anywhere in the end. Colt McCoy was in that conversation. Where is he now as far as quarterbacks are concerned?
And he had a good career, but he was a backup for the majority of his career.
That's my point. Carson Beck right now is at 68.6. We'll see what his career turns out. Spencer Rattler, has he won a game yet?
They have not won yet.
Correct. So Teddy Bridgewater's in this conversation as far as top 20. So we can go down this whole big list of top 20 that are the most accurate. And this is why a lot of people thought that Shedeur Sanders should be a starting quarterback because of his accuracy. But that doesn't necessarily translate into the NFL. And this, to me, is just the quintessential Browns quarterback curse, whatever you want to call it, because it seems like every time the Browns draft a quarterback that has like all this attention and expectations around him, that it just turns into a big giant mess.
I think Nick Wright on Fox Sports, I think he actually had a good description of this, where he essentially said, and I agree with this, like, we don't know Shedeur as a person, but there's nothing of me saying of him as a person that from when you hear from him, his peers, they like him. He's a good kid, but through this whole process, Nick was saying, he hates the fact that it seems like he might have not been given the best advice. And that's to me the most glaring, where people are going, well, the kid can't win because if he says something, they criticize him. If he doesn't say anything, they criticize him. Well, I think the bigger part is that when you draw so much attention during the process of getting drafted, teams are looking at, is your talent so high that you can put up with any type of drama or any type of distraction? Because if it is, you take that risk. Why? Because the talent and winning overcomes any other thing that happens in professional sports. It's just the way that it is. But if you are not that caliber, and in this case, obviously, that people are conflicted on what type of quarterback Shedeur could be, I think that he should get an opportunity to start at some point. I do. I'm very curious because I think that there are some intangibles, but not everyone was on the fact that he was this first-round talent. If he was, then he would have been gone in the first round at some point. Some team would have done that and said, you know what, with all that first-round talent, we're taking him, but he didn't.
He hasn't had experience, in my opinion, against NFL caliber defenses, given that he was playing in Colorado. I just don't see that. And I think that's where a lot of GMs probably came from too. You take all the noise out, but look at his overall experience, and the type of teams that he played weren't like NFL style. It's like the SEC, right? Like a lot of GMs look at SEC as like, well, this is basically a step below the NFL. I just don't see that you look at that accuracy, what I was mentioning, and that accuracy was coming against teams that weren't, in my opinion, NFL caliber type defenses in his experience.
Yeah, for me, I might be less on that part just because, it's still playing out Big 12, Pac-10, whatever, Big 12.
But he wasn't like he was lighting them on fire. is my point.
He had moments, but you sat there and when people go, oh, the offensive line's so bad, so they had to do the short throws. And I mean, we could go down that rabbit hole, but the bigger thing right now is people are critiquing him for everything he says. And Zach, like Rex Ryan, when he went off and eviscerated him, is that Shedeur was asked about the league. And there's a line that of which he speaks that seemed to rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
So the comment that Rex was alluding to, Zach, was when Shedeur was asked about the quarterback play. And he said, after looking at this league and seeing the quarterbacks play, I know I can start in this league. Now, did it come off as him just saying, I believe in my talent and I hope for my opportunity? No, it came off more of, oh, there's an arrogance to that comment. And then Rex went on him. I mean, Zach, I know you have a couple opinions. It was funny what he did, but the same part.
You're not helping yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was hysterical, but I also thought it was hysterical because it's not my circus. You know, it's like that thing where it's like, it doesn't impact me. Like, I'm not, like, I completely understand. If this was happening in Baltimore,
I was just about to say, if you're a Browns
doing?
fan, like,
and
how
yeah,
does that
so
make
that's the thing. Like, as a divisional, quote unquote rival in the Ravens, I'm like, this is exactly what we saw happening. The whole point is it wasn't, I don't think, coming out of college of, once you get past the first round, do I think maybe teams didn't see him as a first round pick? I'm going to say obviously, because I think if they did, they would have picked him in the second, third, fourth round, no matter what. He got to where he did, I think, not only, I don't think he's, he's not talented.
No.
But it's because you knew when you drafted him that your third string quarterback was going to get interviews. You knew this isn't, why aren't we interviewing Tyler Huntley for the Ravens shot? Right. Because no one cares. No one cares. You knew when you drafted Shedeur, there was something that was coming with it. You couldn't play anymore why are people talking to our third string quarterback in the first place? Because it's Shedeur Sanders. Because this isn't I see so many analysts go, well, why are you talking about Shedeur Sanders? Because the same analysts that are saying, why are you talking to a third round pick, are the same ones who before the draft were like, he should be a first rounder. Oh, this guy, they're the ones who blew up the whole, he's falling. Like, how could this happen? What has the league got against Shedeur? They made the narrative into Shedeur should have been this. So
yeah,
this show then followed Shedeur. And I agree with, what you were saying with Nick, right? It does suck that I think he's not getting the best advice. Because while I think, like I said, I think it's hilarious how he responded by just what he should have done and would have gotten the point across in a much better manner is if he goes, hey, I'm super happy for Dylan Gabriel. That dude works his ass off. He deserves it. I'm going to be ready for if I ever get my opportunity, but I'm super happy for him, and whatever happens. I'm focusing on what I can control and what can help us win.
Yeah, nobody could shit on that.
Yeah, perfect. You didn't give them anything to talk about. You were happy for the whole, I'm going to pretend to say stuff. I'm not saying anything to get back at them. All it did was add fuel to the fire. Now, I think, like I said, I think it's hilarious how he did it because it's not my organization that's going through. But I understand why people are like, especially if you're in Cleveland, they're like, Dylan Gabriel. Like, I feel bad for Dylan Gabriel because, like you said, he should be the story.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel, third round pick, he's starting. Like, this is a guy who through college, through the end at Oregon, he was a winner.
Yeah.
Took Oregon. They only lost, I think they were undefeated in the regular season. Only loss last season was to Ohio State, who ended up going to win the whole thing. Like, it happens. Like,
no one's talking about if they win this game too. The Browns are 2-3,
yeah.
which the Ravens then could be 2-3 if they beat Houston, but then they're 2-3 in a wide open AFC North. And if the Browns beat the Vikings, their 2 wins are against the Packers and the Vikings on the schedule.
Yep.
And I know the Vikings just lost to the Steelers. Not a great game overall from them, but I think the Vikings are a playoff caliber team. They have a very good roster. They have a very good defense. It should be around that, but that's where people can say the Cleveland Browns curse or whatever it's going to be. And people,
the quarterback curse.
Quarterback
it's a real
curse.
thing.
But I'll say this too. I think that there's been so much on with Shedeur and how he has been portrayed is that then it's even more of an emphasis that if and when he has success in the NFL, that he did it his way to do it. And I think instead of saying, look, you're not, if you lay low and you just focus on what you have to do and try to take that pressure on, that it's then going with the rest of the league, or that's how it is. And I think so many feathers have been ruffled, and we've seen it, we've talked about it, of Shedeur doing it his own way. I think it's almost like a point. I think that's almost like the advice. No, don't change who you are. Be who you are, and it's gonna work. And in this line of work that we know that we talk about, yeah, it very well could work. It very well could. But it goes back to this. You have to be so good when you play. Because if you are not, teams have to make a decision, is it going to be worth it moving forward?
Right.
And I hate the fact of it because it's the focus is not on, is Shedeur a good kid? Can Shedeur play football? Like, no one's talking about any of that. Instead, they're talking about the antics. Antics this, antics that. And I hate that we've gotten to it, but I do think that it ultimately comes down to, if you listen to how other players across situations have dealt with it. And I know it's different. Deion Sanders is very outspoken and very vocal, and he's polarizing. People love Deion or people hate Deion. I think the same way is with Shedeur right now. People love Shedeur or they hate Shedeur, for better or for worse.
There's a difference, though. There's a difference. Like, Deion walked the walk, and Shedeur Sanders hasn't done anything in the NFL yet to really kind of like warrant the swagger that he has yet. I mean, look, if he goes out there and lights the world on fire, then we all anybody who criticizes this probably looks like a bunch of idiots. But the thing is that it hasn't happened yet. And so I know that you say that you hate that this is happening, but him and his family have brought it upon themselves.
Yeah, I would say yes. The way that it has been handled, that's what I hate. Like, I hate the fact that a young man is living out his dream and he's making his first NFL start, and that hasn't been talked about more. Yeah. I also hate the fact that Shedeur Sanders, through this process, I think if it had been handled differently from some advice, that he could be even closer to achieving what he wants to do. Yeah. I think it's become more of a point. This is what I was trying to get across of. I think it's becoming Shedeur's going to have success his way. But in the process, though, it could have more moments like this. And in the NFL, what teams are going to look for, can you handle pressure? Can you handle criticism? And above all, you got to be willing to go out there and walk the walk. If you don't walk the walk, nothing else is going to matter.
Yeah.
And I hate that, but I just hate the fact that this is what it's gotten to. The story should be the Cleveland Browns are trying to get to 2-3, and they have Dillon Gabriel. And if Dillon Gabriel plays well, they're in a good position. If he doesn't, we'll cross that bridge when they get there. Because I think now people are just waiting for Dillon Gabriel to fail.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part for me. It's not that Dillon Gabriel's going to go out there and play well.
Unfortunately for Dillon Gabriel, half his fan base wants him to fail.
And I think,
and that's part of the drama that you knew, and that's part of the drama you knew when you drafted Shedeur Sanders after you already drafted a guy in the third round. Like, not only are we talking, maybe a few people, half the Browns fan base is going to hope and pray that Dillon Gabriel shits the bed so that they can see Shedeur Sanders. They're going to root against their own team because they want Shedeur Sanders to get the opportunity. That's what you knew when you were drafting him. That's why he fell to the fifth round. I don't think he was a fifth round talent. I think if everything behind the scenes checked out, he's probably a late first, early second. I think that's where you would have, probably a team trade up in the first round to get that fifth year option. He would have been in that Lamar Jackson category. But you knew when you drafted him, your third string quarterback was going to get interviews. You knew that they're going to be on Get Up, not talking about Myles Garrett, not talking about your elite defense. Talk about your third string quarterback needs to shut up.
Yeah.
Like that. We wonder why and of course, obviously we now know he could have gone a little bit earlier, but the Raven, he told people not to draft him. It just felt like from the beginning, unfortunately, I don't feel for the Browns at all because they knew what they were getting into.
They made the choice.
It's one of those things. But unfortunately for Shedeur Sanders and really for Dillon Gabriel, all they're going to be doing is putting those two against each other. They cannot say a word. They literally, Dillon Gabriel went out there and they asked him, first thing, what does it feel? Is this the perfect opportunity? Getting the perfect opportunity to start. And he said, if you wait for the perfect opportunity, it's never going to happen. You got to be ready when your name's called. And people are posting it going, how do you take a shot at Shedeur like that? Where did he mention Shedeur? It's like nothing. Joe Flacco's named the number 2 quarterback. Do you know what Russell Wilson was named when they benched Jackson Dart? The number 2 quarterback. Usually when your first string gets benched, he goes to second string. People are using that against the Browns. They're like, well, why isn't Shedeur the second string? Because Joe Flacco was the 1, and usually when you miss, put 1, 2 to 1, the 1 goes to 2, and you don't just go, okay, well, now Flacco's at 3 and Shadeur's at 4, and then we're going to get Malik Cunningham from, the Detroit just to have a 4th quarterback.
Yeah, why not?
Like, that's how you're not rearranging a house for Christmas. You're just saying he's now our starter. Like, there's so much drama that goes into it just because Shadeur's in the room, where it's like, that's why he fell. The talent, I don't think, is a question. I think, unfortunately, like Rex Ryan said, if he's seeing it, you don't think that the Browns or other teams are going, damn, that's why people
dodge that bullet.
Yeah, well, they didn't draft him.
And here's at the end of the day, I hope the best for Shedeur. I hope that he goes out there when he gets his chance and he plays well.
I loved watching him in Colorado.
I loved watching him with the Buffs, but I think this is I think we all agree with this, is that it was a good example of, even though when people say it shouldn't just always be about the talent, teams do not just draft based off the talent. They will draft and put up with, and it goes back to where I started this, if you are so undeniably talented, where it is so evident that you go, screw it, I'm going to put up with it because that's like, it's almost a slam dunk. Like, you are that good that they'd say, screw it, I'm going to put up with you. Like, to a point, like, go through all the guys that want to say, quote unquote, prima donnas throughout. Let's just stay with football. And they bounced around, but like
Terrell
Owens, wherever he went, he's a Hall of Fame player. He is one of the best wide receivers that ever played in the game. But the reason why he didn't stay in places, too much of the distraction. He ran himself out of the town, essentially, or then the fit for the team and the offense was no longer worth the price. And that is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. In this case with Shedeur, the draft process, teams care about how you interview, and that can make or break how teams view you. And you mentioned Lamar about being Shedeur possibly being a late round guy for the Ravens. The reason why Lamar went as a late first round quarterback, the last pick of the first round, had nothing to do with character or had nothing to do with distractions. It solely had to do with, did they think that he could play quarterback? That was the reason why Lamar went 32nd, right? Like, he went 32nd because the rest of the NFL was not convinced
he's a running back.
That he was a running back, or, hey, which position at the combine are you going to play? Wide receiver. He goes,
wide
no.
receiver drills.
I'm a quarterback. And it took one team to trade back in to go, we think that you can be a quarterback, but it had nothing to do with anything else. If Lamar had any of the other things that were going on, it would hurt his draft stock. Johnny Manziel, people thought he was talented enough in the Browns. They took a chance, but everyone thought he would go top 5, top 10. Why did Johnny Manziel not even go in the top 5 or 10? People had concerns in the draft interview process. And then one team said, you know what, we think you're talented enough, Cleveland. And they said they're going to put up with it.
I'm sensing a common denominator.
Right.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I've been saying this whole time.
And, but in this case.
I will say, though, it is a testament, we always talk about this. It's a testament to the true talent Shedeur has, because I'll tell you this, like, we can say everything we want about him as a distraction, all of that. And now, once again, this preface this with, this is the Browns, not saying they've made the best decisions over the years. If the Browns if they did not fully think Shedeur had the possibility to be a starting quarterback in this NFL, they would have gotten rid of him. Because if you do not think that he is going to work out or be a starter, you are not putting up with the biggest storyline on your team being the third string quarterback every week. So you have to give it to him. I think they do see something in him. I mean, hell, he looked good in preseason when he, got time. I don't think this is a talent thing. I think it is a big thing of, hey, when he gets his time, he's going to have to prove it. But unfortunately for him now, there is a crap ton of time or pressure that he's not going to get Dylan Gabriel. I'll tell you this right now. He throws for 150 yards next week, this weekend, throws for 150 yards, maybe a touchdown and an interception. People are going to be like, all right, you know what? For your first start, that's pretty good. Shedeur has that exact same line. People are going to talk about, and this is why you can't talk as a third string quarterback. But he made that bet.
Yeah.
He put the pressure there. Now, if you talk to Shedeur, he's going to love it. He loves the pressure. He's still Deion's kid. He still loves and thrives in that situation. But it is now, I feel like there's just unnecessary drama and pressure on the Browns' young quarterback duo. One of them has to be a star. And it's like, if I'm Dylan Gabriel, I'm like, I didn't write these checks. I wasn't the one who did these.
Hey, you know what, though? For no one in Baltimore is going to feel bad for Cleveland. But for Cleveland, the reality is right now in week 5, if they win, they are 2-3 and will have the same or better record than the Baltimore Ravens. And they will have one of the best defenses in the NFL. And they might have a different outlook on their season. But we could go down this rabbit hole for a long time. It was a good conversation to have because it's also just a reminder for whatever you do for your job, whatever you go out and want to accomplish, there's so much more that goes into decisions, whether it's right or wrong, than just sitting down and just talking about how talented you are. But if you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Monday, Thursday, Sunday right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. But we will be live tomorrow, a little happy hour time from Federal Hill. We'll be over at Liv's Tavern, maybe having a couple beverages, maybe having a couple giveaway opportunities, and just enjoying a Purple Friday as the Ravens get ready to play the Texans on Sunday at the Bank. Also, speaking of just in Maryland, the best team in Maryland right now is the University of Maryland, by the way, and the Terps have a huge game against Washington to stay undefeated.
Yeah.
So
big game.
Shout out the Terps, which if they can win this game, they would be 2-0 in the Big Ten. Hey, how you doing? Malik Washington has been one of the bright spots, not just for the team, in the country. Yeah. Maryland football is like, wait a minute. There's something brewing here in Washington. 3-1. Solid football team. Always have had a solid program out there. And for Washington, they're coming off. They lost to the defending national champions, Ohio State Buckeyes. So this will be a good test after the Terps went on the road and beat Wisconsin the first game. Now you have the Huskies coming in to play. And if you win that game, you'd be 2-0 as you continue to move on in the Big Ten. And that's something that Maryland hasn't been able to do here over the years with Mike Loxley at the helm.
Yeah, I mean, I will put it out there. This is one of those I am going to, this game is the gateway game. Because if the Terps go and they hit that 5-0, they're 2-0 in the Big Ten.
Yep.
All of a sudden, Washington, like you said, only lost to the defending national champs. 5-0, 2-0 in the Big Ten. You get Nebraska coming here next week. I'll be talking my shit like that. This is my gateway into talking my shit type of game because I think this is finally a Terps team. And now, once again, they have to prove it this weekend. But you saw it against Wisconsin, on the road. Washington, yes, 6.5-point favorites. Washington is, but coming all the way over from the West Coast, maybe that can impact guys a little bit. Terps find a way to win this ball game. I think you have to have some serious discussions in College Park of like, oh crap, this isn't the Terps of recent, like you said, Ryan, where it's 3-0 before Big Ten play, and you're like, okay, here come 3-7. Okay, that happened fast. This team can hang with them. This is a ball team, So I'm really excited. Washington coming to Maryland, and man, at 3:30. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun one. Hopefully everyone can make it out there. I actually saw last time I checked, they were getting close to a sellout. So, there's some buzz. Terps. There's some buzz in College Park. If you're in College Park, maybe stop by the Iron Rooster.
Good plug right there.
Hey.
Good plug.
I try. But yeah, fun time in College Park. So go Terps. Let's see what we can do.
Go Terps. And we were supposed to, speaking of the Iron Rooster, we're supposed to have Kyle come on today. Some things came up, which happens, but me and Kyle are not having a riff or a tiff or whatever the thing is. We're great. Yeah. We're more than great. It's scheduling. and we're going to be back, and we're going to be cooking it up with Kyle and the Iron Rooster this fall. Moving into the winter should be great. And yeah, if you're a Terps fan, go support the Terps as they try to get to 5-0 and continue to be the best team in Maryland. How about that? Who would have thought? Commanders are good. Ravens are good. The Terps might be the best of the 3 teams here in the state. All right, guys. Football's been fun.
Yeah. One last thing, because this is hysterical, that I was looking up Shedeur Sanders stuff just to see if anything new came out. And there's this tweet, and it just says, why is the reaction always, this is bad leadership, and this is why he fell in the draft, and never, wow, this is really impressive mime work? I think it's true.
I don't.
He's got a.
I'm in the leadership camp.
But if NFL doesn't work out, I know one thing that will.
Miming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was talent. That was talent.
Hey, you know what? Not everyone can do it.
Character once.
He didn't.
Lights are the brightest.
You know what? Lights are the brightest. Iron Eagle, you man ass going at you. How do you do when you have to put your mime face on or someone's flashing you, or mooning you?
Mooning.
You never know. You never know. But what we do know is the fall is rolling on. And this is actually the first month where, I think it's the only month, where all of the major sports are going to be in action. Some could argue it's the best sports month of all time because you have playoff baseball, you have the NFL, college football, the NBA, and hockey. Hockey is back.
There we go.
But you know what? That's not everyone, I guess, was excited about hockey being back. Well, at least that's how the world took it. And the reason why I'm bringing it up, if you guys watch the playoff game yesterday, Cubs versus the Padres, our guy, friend of the show, friend of the program, Big Ben McDonald was on the call there with Kevin Brown, by the way. And so
oh boy,
the NHL season is about to kick off. Big Ben's a Louisiana guy, and it's playoff baseball. Well, let's just say people were up in arms about the comments that Big Ben had when they were promoting the kickoff of the NHL season. So why don't we just play the clip so you guys can hear it, and then we're going to react on the other side.
The ice next Tuesday, NHL opening night against the defending champion Florida Panthers at 5 Eastern, 4 Central on ESPN. Triple header that night. Penguins, Rangers, Avalanche, Kings. Ben, I know you got an opinion on this. Panthers three-peat this year. What do you think?
If you say so. I mean, good luck to them. Are you asking me if I'm going to be watching?
No, I know you'll be watching, of course, because you work for ESPN. You'll be watching Friday night.
There is zero chance I'll be watching. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Where will you be?
I will be somewhere, but there's zero chance I'll be watching.
All right, thanks, Ben. We'll be watching. Thanks for the rating.
So that was hysterical.
I just want to ask Kevin Brown, like, what was going through his mind as Ben, and he tried to save him. Like, Kevin tried to save Ben, and Ben just wasn't taking it. He just doubled down on that shit and was just like, you know what? No chance I'm watching this.
I was saying this to Ryan earlier. I think that's what made it worse for Ben was that it was with Kevin Brown, and their dynamic. So when Kevin Brown's like, surely you'll be watching, Ben's like, Kevin, WTF? No, I'm not. Like, we both know I'm not watching. Like, why are we trying to do this right now?
Kevin literally said, hey, by the way, we are working for ESPN here while we're at it.
Of course you'll be watching. It's on ESPN, who we work for here, and it's going to be on. Nope. No, I'll tell you.
No chance.
So people took that personal.
Yeah.
A lot of people took it very personally, and this is why.
Did you text Ben?
So I haven't gotten a message back from him. I might text him. I'm going to send him another follow-up here of saying you caused quite a stir.
I will say Ben just tweeted out like 30, 40 minutes ago that they were going to be live for the ESPN, the baseball game, and with he and Kevin Brown, and all the comments are the hockey people just going, I will absolutely not be watching.
So I just sent him another message. You caused quite a stir. Although
I guess it's probably good he's not responding, because isn't he? He's literally calling a game right now.
Yeah, but here's Oh,
did he just?
I love how I say that, and then he responded.
He goes, yes, I did.
There you have it from the man himself. Yes, I did.
Hey, but you know what I love about Ben? What I love about Ben is that he is authentic to a T.
Oh,
and
my
he's
God.
also he's honest. And I think we had a follow-up then. He was on Wake Up Barstool this morning and essentially talked about it more. So let's play that clip of Ben's response, and then we're going to talk about it after.
All. As far as the hockey stuff goes, man, listen, when that thing popped up on the screen, I'll be honest, I didn't even know ESPN had the hockey contract. I know they probably paid more than $1 or $2 for it, but I just didn't even know that, to be honest. And then when I looked at the dates, and I went, well, that's kind of the same time as playoff baseball. And if I got a choice between preseason or beginning of hockey season and October baseball, I'm probably leaning slightly towards playoff baseball, to be honest with you.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
So like, look, if you know Ben, he wasn't trying to take any slight at the sport of hockey at all. But people are looking at it, oh, great look, ESPN, that it's on your network and your employees are showing that. Like, and people were pissed about it.
Yeah.
But if you know Ben McDonald,
Yeah.
Ben is a Louisiana guy.
Just being his genuine self.
He loves hunting. And if he does have free time, he's like, yeah, I'm not a hockey guy. I'm not going to watch. And also, I'm a baseball guy. It's playoff baseball. If he's not watching baseball, he is hunting.
Yeah.
And if he's not hunting, he's watching baseball.
I love that.
That's how he
He
is.
spent $1 or $2 on it. Wasn't it like 1.8 billion, Zach? Something like that.
Oh, it's a high number. It was a high number. They spent $1 or $2 on it.
This is why we love Ben, though. Like, because he's just him. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we've had him on the show. He's been in this studio. Like, this is why we love Ben.
Yeah, I mean, the whole McDonald family is they're tremendous people.
Oh my God.
They're caring, and at no point though was it ever trying to be a slight. I just think it's also just funny that he didn't recognize that initially though, when they're like, and on ESPN, and it's like, oh well,
yeah.
Oh, that date looks interesting. Oh no, I ain't gonna watch that. But how he explains it, it's not that he's even covering his tracks. He's like, I saw the date. I ain't gonna watch it.
I say dumb shit like that all the time, and I just don't have a bunch, millions of people listening. That's kind of the only difference.
I'm gonna put, you know what? I've decided I'm putting part of the blame on Kevin Brown here. You got to know who you're talking to, and tossing up the, hey Ben, clearly you'll be watching, knowing Ben McDonald. You knew there was that, like most people. You toss it to your partner with us, we'll be tuned in, and they'll be like, of course, hockey on ESPN. You have to know that's not how Ben rolls, and he will be brutally honest about the fact that he will not be watched. I love his, I'm not going to call it an apology, but in his explanation where he's like, obviously, I hope that it does well. He goes, I didn't know we had hockey on ESPN. Like he even though it was doubled down, like that was news to me.
You got to wonder if like Kevin in his infinite wisdom was just like, hey guys, watch this.
Yeah.
Because knowing exactly how Ben
and that's what I keep saying. Like, I think it would have gone completely different had it not been Kevin Brown and Ben McDonald doing it together. Like, their rapport is just second to none.
Yeah.
It's their top 3 broadcast team in all of baseball, I would say. And so when they're together, like, if you're an Orioles fan and you've watched 100 and, what would it end up being like 120, 110 games of them calling them together a year, you know that's just a regular interaction between those two of Kevin being like, well, you're going to do this, and Ben being like, no. It's like, no, Ben, we're going to do this, and Ben being like, well, maybe you are. And that's just how they go. And
they just chop it up all the time.
On a national, like you said, in front of millions and millions on.
What do you think Jessica Mendoza off the air was just like? What, or like during the moment she handled it, but like in her mind thinking like, does this happen all the time? With the like I would love to know and ask her one day is like, did you know sometimes what you walk into with those two, especially with Ben?
Yeah.
But you know what? They were hired by ESPN. Why they are two of the best, or Ben and KB as a duo, they are one of the best in all of baseball when it comes to the play-by-play and color commentary. If you're an Orioles fan, you see it on the nightly basis. And in this case, again, it was not a slight at the sport. It has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with Ben's preferences. He loves baseball, hunting, and he loves a crawfish etouffee, which, by the way, Nikki said she'd come in and make it next year when they come here.
There we go.
It was confirmed. Confirmed.
after this entire conversation, it reminded me of my first interaction with Ben, and it wasn't even that I saw him first. I just heard him down the hallway.
Yeah.
And he said, "You can't take a jackass to Kentucky Derby," talking about himself. And
Yep.
that was the first words I've ever heard come out of Ben's mouth. And it was absolutely hilarious.
Well, I just remember us sitting the same day, sitting in the office. We were about to do the Mike Elias interview, I think.
Yeah.
And literally, you hear Ben McDonald come in, and I forget who it was for Orioles PR, just left to get us some credentials and stuff. And Ben comes in and is explaining to us that it's only Ben McDonald can, that he is lost and doesn't know where to go to for picture day. And he leaves, and about 20 minutes later, we get our credentials and stuff. And they were like, "Hey, we're so sorry that it took so long. We ran into a confused Ben McDonald and had to show him where to go." And we were like, we also dealt with him. We understand. We know how confused he is at this moment.
Exactly.
Oh, goodness. What a time. What a moment for postseason baseball right there.
If I had Ben's number, I would have texted him that exact quote. His own the exact quote that
he'd probably finish the quote.
Yeah,
actually, if you just did the first part of it. But Ben, he is a great guy, authentic as it comes, and I really cherish his friendship. The McDonald's are great people.
Oh my God.
And you know what though? He's had him as well as the other crews besides the Dodgers Red series, which got away, and the Dodgers were the Dodgers in advance, beating the Reds in 2 games. Guys, postseason baseball has been absolutely electric. It is one of my favorite times of year because of postseason baseball. I can sit there and watch a 0-0 game and feel like I'm on pins and needles the entire time. And it's not the team that I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
I just love the moments and being in it.
The Yankees Red Sox game last night, that was me.
Amazing.
In the 8th inning. Yeah.
It was amazing. And you know what? There have been some great games so far. The Tigers Guardians, even though it's been extremely low scoring, those 2 teams in the first games, neck and neck down to the wire. Yep. Now, right now, the Tigers are leading 6-3 as we're recording this, going into the 9th inning, as they had the big collapse, right? The Guardians end up winning the division, but now the Tigers are 3 outs away from winning the series and advancing to the DS. Right now, the Cubs hold a 2-0 lead on the San Diego Sheets, which Gavin is 0 for 1 as we talk right now with a punchy. But they're down 2-0, bases juiced for the Cubs. So a big one right now of trying to really stop the bleeding, give San Diego a chance. And then that Yankees-Red Sox series, which from everything in that game, like this is why you love baseball. If you watch the first game going all the way down to the 9th inning where Aroldis Chapman – bases juice, no outs, and he gets out of it and wins it. Then you can go to last night where the Red Sox are right there, first and second, no outs, and Cruz gets out of it. Jazz scored from first on a ball down the line late in the game, and the Yankees escaped with a highly entertaining game. And now in the Bronx, Game 3, here you are. What you got, Brad?
I was just going to say, you were talking about the Padres game. Did I miss this as I was looking through the stats that Darvish allowed 4 hits and hit a batter while getting just 3 outs in the first inning?
Yep,
and they yanked him.
They pulled him out. He got into the second, and then they yanked him after the second inning.
Brutal.
So they loaded the bases, and then they pulled him.
Yeah.
So he got through the first, couldn't get through the second, and now Estrada's in trying to stop the bleeding, right? And this is the playoff baseball too. Any means necessary. There's no tomorrow for these teams. Must win. So it has been great to see. The Dodgers are proving of why they are the Dodgers still. They're comfortable in the postseason. The Reds got off to the start that they wanted in Game 2. And the Dodgers don't blink. They just continue to add on, and they got star power. And it's been a great sight to see so far for all baseball lovers. So we'll see what happens. And this is like the true beauty of the game. You just got to get in and see what happens.
Yep.
Like truly.
Yep.
In the American League, to me, there's really no favorite. I don't have a favorite. The Blue Jays might have the record, same as the Yankees, by the way. But you could tell me right now that any of the teams that are in the American League DS, the Mariners, the Jays, And then it's going to be the Red Sox, Tigers, Guardians, or Yankees.
Yeah.
Whoever wins, say if you said, Ryan, I think this team is going to go to the World Series.
Yeah.
I would not doubt you. I think that every team has an equal shot to represent the AL.
Yeah, and Estrada just got a massive double play for the Padres. Get
Wow.
out of it, just 2 runs. So we still got a tight game, 2-0 end of second. Those are the moments. If the Padres come and let's say win this thing, 4-2, 4-3, whatever it may be, that's when we're looking back on, and you're like, wow, that was the opportunity for the Cubs to really blow this thing open. You get one out, bases juice. It was I want to say 3-2 count. I mean, a walk gets them in, a fly ball gets them in, ground ball didn't get them in. So big opportunity. But hey, you just talked about in a regular season game, you Darvish loads the bases in the second inning. You're probably like, "Welp, you go get him. Let's see if you can get out of this, dude, because we're not wasting our bullpen for 8 innings. This is win or go home. This is okay. Bases loaded, go get him." And it's all hands on deck.
Yeah.
All hands on deck. And can't wait for game 3 at the Red Sox and Yankees. I think that's going to be dynamite. I really do. And it's the little moments. And by the way, when we talk about during the regular season, how situational ball is so important, and the team that does the little things right, it gets magnified in the postseason. If you've been watching so far, the team that has made the bigger mistake or mistakes typically have lost the game. I saw the Tigers lay down a bunt earlier on in this series, get a bunt down, and get a runner in. Scooble in game 1 for them was sensational. The Guardians, the team that usually is so sound, they're the ones that made the mistake. In game 2 for the Yankees and Red Sox, it was a chance for the Red Sox to sacrifice and move the runners up. Can't get a bunt down. That gets out number 1 in the inning.
Yep.
Those little things are going to make a difference if you are going to live to play another day or you're going to go home. So the regular season, it can be masked over a 162 because if you're good enough and you do enough right on the day-to-day, yeah, you'll win. But, I mean, Brad, watching this, the reason why you're watching, you can feel the intensity.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Like, you can feel it. The players feel that. And so that's why when we say it's a different game in the postseason, it's different because it's magnified and every mistake can be the one that costs you. And so for these teams, we're going to find out. I'm going to go back and watch everything that's happened so far. But, Zach, we're to keep a note. Estrada getting out, of making a play, double play. Could that be the inning that saves the San Diego Padres season?
It could. It
Could
really
be. They got 7 innings to go, and we'll find that all out here. And we'll talk about that tomorrow when we're live from Liz Tavern around 5 p.m. tomorrow, a little happy hour special. And we'll have a good old time over there. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. We are trying to get a way to put out more of our baseball content, Brad. I know you and I have talked about that during football season.
Yep.
But we did put out for our channel members, Jimmy Rollins had a hilarious story with my father, Calvin. We just put that out recently. We teased the Chipper Jones. The next video that we're going to put out for our Rips Better kids to see first is Chris Berman talking about the night of the streak. And we put out a little clip of that on X around September 6th or 5th, I'm sorry. But we actually had the full interview.
Yeah.
And so we're going to share that with you all. And Brad, I think it's as simple now. I just read on my computer, on iOS, on Apple phones, you can actually click join. But how easy is it to join the channel members?
It's literally next to subscribe. Was this a problem for iOS users? You couldn't see the join button?
People couldn't do it on their phone.
And now they can?
And now they can.
Well, you don't have any excuse now.
And we also will have our newsletter out for tomorrow.
It'll be out tomorrow. That's right. So Georgia let us down last week. I think 3 out of the 4 of us had Georgia winning that game. But we will be putting out our best bets for the weekend in our newsletter that goes out on Fridays. So make sure that you're hitting that join button next to subscribe and become a Rips Better kid in order to get access to that, along with all the other exclusive content. Of course, if you just want to be one of the good kids, we would be honored to have that support from you as well. All you got to do is hit that join button next to subscribe.
And it's that simple. Zach, when I move, you move.
And just like that.
And look at this. Everybody who's commented within the last 10 minutes are members. So we got Laura and Joe, Rick. You guys are the real ones. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys from the start. And we did change it up. So if you saw that if you were a channel member and it went away, we just were restructuring. So we appreciate your patience. Also moving forward when the schedule regulates a little bit more, and now I'm past wedding season. I guess, is it always wedding season technically? I feel like I feel like there was a whirlwind. I'm almost through the wedding season for myself.
Yeah.
I got one more wedding that I'm attending for this year. And then we can regulate because
you have gone to more weddings than anybody I know my entire life.
That's it. Wedding season.
Ooh.
Hell of a
I
season.
think it's just for you.
It might be. It might be.
You just got a lot of friends.
You know, I'm a likable guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We said you had a lot of friends. Let's keep it there.
So if I have a lot of friends, does that not make me likable?
I didn't say anything. I did not say a word. I just was putting it out there, you know.
Okay. Well, the reason why I was bringing this up, because I talked to Nick. Nick wants to get the Nick at Nights going on Wednesday. So when the schedule now regulates where the Ravens are going to be home a little bit more, he wants to do that on Wednesdays and Rip After Dark. I want to get that back rocking and rolling. And speaking of rock, Rocco will also want to be rocking and rolling here on the Rip After Darks. And that will be for the Rip's Better Kids. Whew. And I think on Sunday, we'll finally have a normal Sunday show, I think is the plan right now.
Yeah.
We'll be in studio, maybe a boots on the ground, perhaps.
Ooh.
And then more importantly, we want to get back to our member call-ins, right? That's what we want to get back to on our Sunday show, member call-ins.
Yep.
See what's rocking and rolling here on the Ryan Ripken Show. It is Thursday. Is there anything I'm missing about like this week? Have we had a good week? Have we had some fun?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No. Yeah, we're good.
Zach?
Yeah.
Have you had fun?
I've been having fun, you know.
He seems a little bit better today.
You know, we're just baseball. It's almost hockey season, you know.
It's almost so. Hey,
I'll be tuning in, but it's
by the way, so you know who's
I'm sweating.
Not having a great week?
Who?
Apparently Ron Washington. Yeah, not having a great week.
Well, so like the thing is with that, by the way, you know, and I want to give people context with this. And this is it scared people, Brad. Like
it scared me,
right? Like, so Ron Washington during the season had to step aside because of health concerns.
Yeah,
and had to get some procedures done, if I'm not mistaken, especially with his heart, I believe. Yeah. So then the news came out. What, earlier this week? Yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
Actually, do you have? Can we actually just pull up that clip so we can show it? So this is the clip, and Ron, we don't know. Like,
if you looked at this photo with no context, what are you assuming?
That he passed away.
He passed away. Correct.
So it's the background for those that are listening and can't see it. It's clouds in the air, and it just says "Thank you, Ron Washington." But it looks like
got approved, by the way.
Yeah. This
like,
so
multiple eyes looked at this.
Right. So this is what the Angels social media team, whatever you want to call them, put this out on X to like commemorate, I guess, his tenure with the Angels. But the way this looks, if I'm just looking at this, the naked eye and no other context, I'm assuming Ron Washington has passed away.
We gotta because this isn't the first time that this has happened, obviously, with social media where like a coach will be fired or something, or someone gets injured and they'll post something with this.
But like he's in the clouds, like,
so I was
like he's ascended to heaven, you know.
We need to, as a society, kind of understand this basic rule of when we are posting about a manager, a coach, maybe someone, and especially, you know, someone like you said, Ryan, who has had maybe some issues recently. I think we just golden ruled no clouds in the background. I just think having them go into the clouds when they are very much alive is just not. It's not what we need to do.
Yeah, and like and the thing is too, like we don't know Ron Washington's like actual health status.
No. This is all we've seen for months.
So like, and this is the thing is because the reason why that they moved on from Ron, I think the big reason for this was with the health concerns,
Yeah.
right? And so no one knows. And so you hope that everything's okay. And when you see this, you're right. This got approved.
And well, the caption of, by the way, it's still up. They haven't taken it down. The caption to this just says the Angels have announced that manager Ron Washington will not return for a 2026 season. Does that mean or forever or like there's no other context to this at all?
I don't think anyone even looked at the caption when they saw the photo. I don't think that they looked.
No,
at
probably not.
Every single person was probably like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." Like they were. This is like the Eloy Jimenez thing when he was out for the season for the White Sox, and they hung his jersey in the dugout, and everyone's like, "He broke his wrist." Like he's good, guys. Like he's not. This isn't your. Oh, we're doing this for. He's in the dugout.
Yeah,
like he's right there.
Oh, sugar. Well, that was that this week.
Yep.
So we've had witchcraft, in remembrance,
sort of.
It just,
yeah.
But we've overall though had a great week. Yeah. Iron Eagle was phenomenal. It was great having him on.
So good having him on.
Nick Moore. You know, it is what it is with Nick. You know, we like him. We're just kidding. We always love when Nick's able to join us.
Yes.
Maybe one day we'll get him down here in studio.
I would love that.
And then for all of you out there, I mean, we plan tomorrow just to run that through one more time. We're going to be live over at Liv's Tavern around 5 p.m. So if you're over in Fed Hill, come and hang out with us. And actually with some of our sponsors like Merit, I got to talk to Deep Eddie about this too, that we're going to be able to have some giveaways if you're there at Fed Hill. Like if you're literally there, you're going to have a chance to win. And that could be maybe a cornhole.
Yeah.
They could be the boxing thing, but we got to get someone that there's a boxing bag, Brad.
Yeah.
Like the machine.
Oh, yeah.
And then the high score, but there's one there. But we have to have someone that wouldn't sue us if we're like, hey, try this out. And then they miss and they smack their hand and break it.
Over there for the golden tee. They have a golden
Oh,
tee.
They do have a golden tee over there.
Okay.
We're going to have to get Jackson over there.
Yep.
They did a great job. It's the old Mothers where it used to be like, oh, there was just a parking lot.
Yep.
And now it's actually like a legit spot. Like it is amazing.
Very cool spot.
Very cool spot. So we'll have a lot of fun over there. And obviously then tonight, our last thing is that there is a game tonight, fellas. There is a game tonight.
Foosball game.
Foosball game where I don't know who's playing. Talk about injuries. The 49ers have no quarterback. So it's Mac Jones time again.
That's okay. That's great for me and who I got at running back today.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So
just that's fine.
So I'm wondering then.
Fine by me.
So I'm wondering if that's going to go into what Bolly's bet's going to be. So we'll take a quick trip up to our friends at Hollywood Casino Charlestown Races and West Virginia. Nice. Yeah, so we're taking our trip up to Hollywood Casino Charlestown Races in West Virginia. So Zach, Bolly's bet, what do we have rocking this Thursday night?
We're keeping it simple. Saw a quote today that really resonated with me. It said he's wide receiver 1 and running back 2, and I couldn't agree more. We're going old school. Christian McCaffrey over 50 receiving yards, and yeah, we're throwing it back to the Pop Warner days for CMC.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, this is Christian McCaffrey. If you want another visual, if you want to go through the years, we also have his high school days. So there you go.
Look at that.
Wait, did you just have a couple of these saved?
Okay, well, like,
no, I was wondering
what else was I supposed? Was I make a Stanford one as well? Like, what? Because it doesn't matter what level it is, Christian McCaffrey, you got to put the team and the offense on your back, brother. 50+ receiving yards. Get the man open. Get him in open field and watch him work.
That was
Let's
incredible.
Go.
That was incredible.
You were just sitting on those.
You
things.
were.
So I wondered. We're wondering, like, I haven't heard from Zach. What the hell could he be doing?
I originally had the Stanford one, and then as the show went, I was like, How far back can I get Christian McCaffrey picture?
Dude, the Pop Warner one was awesome.
It's from that famous video of the kid at the on the field with the mascots where he jukes all the mascots out.
Yeah.
That was Christian McCaffrey, and that's where this picture was taken from. Was that he was that kid?
So, oddly enough, or not oddly enough, but so far that number, Christian McCaffrey's gone over 50 receiving yards in every single game.
He's
4 for 4.
He's close to 90.
I know.
3 of the 4 games, he's gone over 70 yards.
Yeah.
73, 88, and 92 to be exact. His lowest one was the second game of the season when they played the Saints
CMC
in New Orleans, which
is
he
back.
scored, though. 7 catches for 52 yards. He's back, man. He's rocking and rolling. He's going to have to be the offense if the 49ers are going to have a chance against the Rams, who
Agreed.
we talked about. They are one of the best teams in the league. They sit at 3-1 on the season playing that divisional game. Well, damn, CMC. So Kendrick Bourne, Zach, or Malik Washington?
I'm going Kendrick Bourne. More I've looked into it, I just besides CMC, who else? Who you got? No one.
Demarcus Robinson's playing for them.
Yeah, no, I have him scoring. What am I not going to? My dog, go to Marcus. You not know that video? Kid's not online enough.
That is correct.
Yeah, you
don't even know that reference.
That is correct. Spanish Armada, 1588. That is correct.
Tarps off.
Tarps off. Tarps off, Zach.
You're saying this is ridiculous.
Are you okay? Are you looking for this now?
Well, I had it because I actually just sent it to a few friends when we were
Still
making our
doesn't get it.
touchdown picks.
All right, fine.
Kid doesn't even get it.
Nope.
I don't. I'm okay with that.
Shampoo is
moved
better.
on.
What?
I said shampoo is better.
That is a classic. And we still haven't done that top 5 movies yet for that.
No,
one.
we haven't.
So that can be maybe next Thursday. We need to get back on the track next Thursday.
Yep.
Zach, does that ring a bell then of who we're talking about?
Adam Sandler.
There we go.
Yeah.
Go to Marcus. Go to Marcus. Go to Marcus. Go to Marcus. Go. 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 Go.
Okay.
That went viral years ago. And every time DeMarcus Robinson in 23 when he was with us, every time he caught a touchdown, I would just post that video. It was my favorite thing to post. So I'm taking him for a touchdown just for vibes.
Okay.
Right.
I'm going to be honest. Never saw that video
Me either.
before in my life.
Like I said, not chronically online. Issue.
Also very true.
Yeah.
Also, and Brooks, it's not real about Ron. Ron is from what we understand. We're gonna have to have a crash course one day on how to have things.
How to make social media posts. Oh God!
Not a good time. All right, are we good? Do we have everything
from top to bottom? The LA Angels are the most dysfunctional organization in a Major League Baseball. True or false?
Oh gosh,
not worse, just dysfunctional.
I mean, apparently we're including the social media team.
That's what I'm saying. Like from top to bottom.
Over the last decade,
it's probably the A's, but
like the A's just don't let people comment on anything. So they'll put out the post so that they see it. I love it. Everyone has to quote tweet it, which is kind of genius by the A's because everyone gets mad about it. So
I will say, though,
that's kind of genius.
Here you
I just
go,
want to
Brooks.
know if they start
Brooks. That
becoming
was the
good. If they're good, if they ever turn the comments back on.
Just so Brooks knows, this is what the Angels posted yesterday. No context.
Like if you didn't see the thank you part right there, like Ron Washington's in bold. If you didn't see thank you and you just saw that.
Oh God.
It's a little bit worrisome.
Yeah. Definitely makes you do a double take. You want to hit Google, be like Ron Washington.
Yeah, it's just
you're just Googling it.
And you're not the only person that would think it. There's no doubt about it right now. I had something that I want us to do on the way out. I can't remember.
Shout out to Merritt.
Well, I had that. Well, that is true, by the way. And shout out Merit Clubs. It's only behind me the whole time now.
Oh, yeah.
And Merit Clubs, by the way, they have a new thing going. They want to get, you guys know, around like Thanksgiving. What is it supposed to be? Black Friday.
Yes.
Right?
Not supposed to be. It is.
It's out allegedly.
Every Friday after
Every
Thanksgiving.
Friday after Thanksgiving. Well, they're having an early Black Friday that starts in October. So it is October now. So that's what we're going to have to talk about here moving forward.
Okay.
And when we have some of these events out in public, whether it's at Liv's Tavern, whether it's down at the tailgate lots or wherever we are, we might have the opportunity to just give away 2-week to a month memberships.
Hey, now.
Just like that. Just like that, Zach.
Just like that.
Apparently, you don't go to work out, though.
Not
even a Merit.
I've never been a Merit, apparently.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Rocco, is anyone even going? Like, I don't also belong. I belong there before.
I would love to see a workout off between you and Rocco. I actually would pay for that.
Oh, to see who. He would definitely kick my ass at this point.
In what, though?
Oh, well, like if we're
upper
saying
body?
like actually like
Not bench.
Oh, well, yeah, everything upper body. I've never seen a kid hit lower body. I think I just have a
I haven't seen him hit the upper body, though. Is it just a lot of reps or is it a lot of weight?
He is. I could definitely see him being.
Is he natural? You know.
Guy.
Well,
I
mean,
I could see him being a 1-rep guy where he's like, "Oh, I bench this. I leg press this. I do this. I."
Well, he'll tell you he benches 250.
Yeah, so every time. Don't bring it up. He'll
Don't bring it up.
Very known.
Be like, hey, how you doing? Or, hey, if he asks you how
Hey, guys.
you are,
Hey, I'm Rocco, and I bench 250.
it would literally be like that. Hey, how's your week been? Oh, it's been good. I benched 250. Or, hey, if he asks you everything good with you, oh, well, we saw that post. We don't know if Ron Washington's alive or not. Oh, that's really hard to hear. I'm very upset about that. And that's how I felt after I benched 250. I wondered if everything was okay, and then I benched 270.
Yeah, my dog died, but hey, I benched 250.
Benching 250.
He allegedly said he was going to hop on this, which didn't happen.
Thank God for that.
Classic Rocco. But in all seriousness, Merit Clubs, appreciate you guys. We got a lot coming up with them through October and November, and we will have some more recipes that are dropping for our audience as well, and for our audience, actually, for our channel members, because I had a couple people ask me. In that channel membership, Brad, as well,
Yeah.
I'm going to drop the recipes for the stuff because Stephanie shot them over to me.
Perfect.
We're to rock and roll. So, all right.
Oh, shit. What happened?
Just dropped my wood.
Whew.
But
sounded like-
luckily, I got a big stick.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
luckily, this thing does more damage.
All right, thanks for joining.
What?
We don't have any weapons in this studio, but I dare somebody to come in here while you're holding that thing.
Oh, dude, my weapon of choice right here. You
Oh,
kidding
yeah.
me? You kidding me? Whammy! All right, are we ready to get on out of here?
Yep.
Should we get on out of here?
Yep.
Oh, I missed this music. It's been a little bit
Since Monday.
As always, here on the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. Have a day, have a night, have a great stinking Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow live from Liv's Tavern for happy hour, and then we'll be back on Sunday to get you ready on Sunday morning for a little Ravens-Texans here in Baltimore. Be good. Be good. This is a big piece of work.
It is.